to another episode of the Holistic Cannabis Show, where I am your hostess, as always, Dr. Yolanda Henderson, aka Doc McPuffin, aka Cannabis Doc, and always joined by my wonderful co-host,
Bruh. Yeah, man. It's,
Alright.
it's your OG uncle, Big Bruh in the house.
Big Bruh in the house is his personality today. All right.
See, I didn't even make my voice raspy. Big Bruh in the house. Sound like your uncle that be working on your car with a cigarette hanging out his mouth. Big Bruh, come in there, let me tell you something.
Unc.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to tell you all the outlets in which to watch, to view the show, or share the show, because, of course, we love to have you to share the show so we can get our viewership up, you know what we're saying. So we please appreciate if you could hit the share button on this live feed so that everybody that you know can get this information, because we have a juicy topic today, y'all. If y'all been seeing us on our Facebook Live, y'all know we got some bully issues that we need to talk about with these schools and with these young adults, and we're going to talk about how these young people can get some assistance and get the stuff that they need to help calm and relax, because some of them need to relax. Just relax. We all need to be happy, you know. So that's part of joy, is part of the holistic wellness circle, and so being happy is a part of that. So Mr. Henderson, go on and tell us where they can watch and share the show.
Well, if you go to www.statusnetwork.net, download the app, Status Network, look for the Holistic Cannabis Show. If you're on Instagram, just type in Manifest TV. Mm-hmm. Look for the Holistic Cannabis Show.
That's it.
If you on Facebook, if you following us on Facebook, you watching us right now on Facebook. The Holistic Cannabis Show. Mm-hmm. You want to watch the reruns later on? Go to YouTube. YouTube Manifest TV, as a matter of fact. And then look for the Holistic Cannabis Show. You're going to see your uncle on there with the CBD hat on. If you're on Roku, you got a Fire Stick, whether it's jailbroke or not. Look up Status Network. Guess what you're going to find? The Holistic Cannabis Show. You're going to see me on there juggling this water bottle back and forth like this right here. All right? Bet. No strings attached.
That's right. All right, so this is the number 470-251-4647 if you want to call in, because we want to hear from you. All right, so we have some issues that I want to talk about, like I said before, with young adults and bullies particularly, and cannabis and the legalization here in Georgia. So we have a lot to talk about, so we're going to get started right now. We want to first shout out our happy birthdays for September. So if you had, a September birthday, go on and tell them all the names of the people that's birthdays in September in your family, Mr. Henderson.
Yeah. Katie. Me.
Yep.
Nia. Marion. Marietta Johnson. Chris Johnson. That's my uncle. Chardonnay Stokes. This is my cousin. Everett Stokes. Christian Hollis. Mario Reed. Crystal. Jessica. Gabrielle, and Antoinette. It was so many September birthdays.
I couldn't even fit them all.
And I know y'all noticed this too in your own families. 9 months ago would have been December. You know what your mom and daddy was doing. It was cold and it was Christmas. A lot of y'all was made on Christmas.
Christmas, baby.
Your folks couldn't afford them gifts. Daddy gave you a gift.
No, Daddy was Santa Claus. All right.
So what's up, September? We in this joint. We in this joint deep.
That's right.
It's one of the deepest months on the calendar is September.
That's right. And the last week of the month. So we just want to go ahead and, shout out our anniversary was this month. So we really had a great time. So also Everett Stokes and Tamika Stokes actually had a anniversary they just celebrated. Also, who else had an anniversary? I was tipping my tongue.
Shout out to Brother Thomas Kennard.
All right. Your cousin.
Senior.
Your cousin.
Rest in peace.
That's it. Rest in peace. Your cousin, Big Suge.
Big Marcus.
Big Marcus.
Cousin Vivian.
Vivian and Marcus. That's
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
They hitting up the spot as usual.
That's it.
Now, I just saw a TikTok video of my cousin doing the leg shake. Hey man, you ain't seen nothing funny until you seen somebody about 6'8" doing that dance, bro. Hey man, shout out to my cousin, man. Hey man, he a big old ball of fun, man. That's my capo right there.
That's it. Miss you guys. Have fun on your anniversary trip. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about these topics. We have a video because cannabis has just been issued a license here in Georgia. So not just cannabis, but the legalization process that we've been long awaiting for. So if you've been waiting for dispensaries to start popping up, they're here, and they have 1 year to start those dispensaries in the making. And if you haven't gotten your education, guess what? The Atlanta Academy of Cannabis Science, along with the Gift of Life Community Home, is ready to educate you as the first trade school for your cannabis and knowledge here in Georgia. So let's go. All right, so we're going to watch this quick video about what just conspired here in Georgia right after this.
To make medical cannabis more accessible here in Georgia. On Wednesday, the state awarded 2 companies licenses to grow it here in our state.
Fox 5's Christopher King talked to a pair of moms who've been fighting for years to get medical cannabis for their kids who are living with life-threatening illnesses.
Some parents went so far as to uproot their families. They relocated to other states just to treat their kids with medical cannabis. They say the move to let companies produce medical cannabis here in Georgia is a step in the right direction.
It helps her so much.
Janaea Peliquin was part of a core of passionate parents who fought to bring medical cannabis oil here to Georgia.
It's been a miracle for us.
Haley's Hope, the law legalizing medical cannabis oil in the state, is named after her daughter, Haley Cox.
It's a way to get her out of the seizure without having to use a horrible prescription that could cause her to quit breathing.
There's even a product called Haley's Hope.
Haley's seizures have gone from the 200 plus in 2014 to 1 to 2 on a really bad day.
Peliquin can possess medical cannabis oil with no more than 5% THC here in Georgia. She just can't buy the product that bears her daughter's name.
Colorado just seemed like the best place to be until we could get it legalized in Georgia.
Haley used to suffer with hundreds of severe seizures each day, so they left behind their family here in Georgia and moved to Colorado, where it's legal to buy.
It became more evident that we needed to be near where we could get the medicine until we could get growing in Georgia.
She'll soon be able to. The state on Wednesday granted licenses to start producing medical cannabis oil here in Georgia.
It's a good move in the right direction, that's for sure.
I understand it's progress, but it's beyond baby steps.
Corey Lowe's daughter, Victoria, also suffered with severe seizures before trying medical cannabis.
We've been in this fight since 2013. We should have had medicine in the patient's hands by now. Hopefully within the year, we will be able to access her oil safe from a trusted source.
We will be able to come back home.
Trulieve is set to launch operations this winter. You will need a doctor to authorize a registry card before you buy. Christopher King, Fox 5 News.
All right, so you all just heard it here. We do have doctors that we work with, including myself, that can get you a card to be able to go into these dispensaries. So I'm like this. I'm like the Oprah of cannabis, right? You get a card, you get a card, you get a card, you get a card, because everybody has some type of illness or disorder that qualifies them for a medical cannabis card. So say for instance, you've had a terrible incident or you have some type of post-traumatic stress syndrome and you want to get a medical cannabis card, well, come talk to me and we'll be able to get you set up for a card. And once those dispensaries pop up, you will be first in line to go into these dispensaries and get your 5% THC oil. Now, hopefully it's on the ballot. So we're trying to make sure that it goes up and the flower is added. So if you're a Georgian resident, we want you to be paying attention to the ballot and getting your registration card so that you can vote, because we want to get all of it legalized, not just the 5% and not just the oil. Mr. Henderson, what do you have to say?
Make mine the chronic.
So we want to get everybody a card. Again, Mr. Henderson wants the chronic, the whole full plant. And that's what those issuers will be getting. And we also have that information on the two license holders, which is True Leave, and which is a great company. They will be doing the seed to sale program. So that will be straight from the farm into the dispensary. So there will have the whole integrated vertical system, and which we taught in the classes. All right, so those were the Georgia growers who did not get the card. So there was the license. There was like 66 or 76 companies who actually put in their application for this, and then they did not score high enough, which the two were Botanical Sciences and True Leave Georgia were the two top, or the highest, who scored the highest to get the license. So it was a pretty strenuous process, which we did teach over at the Atlanta Academy of Cannabis Science. So if you did not get that information, or you did apply for the card and you wanted more information, or you paid someone to get that card, we were here in Georgia. We were set up to train you or teach you how to actually get the scores high enough to get that medical cannabis license. And if you missed out, we are very, very sorry, but when it does open up again, you would need that extra knowledge. Come on and enroll with us. We can help you get those licenses. All right. So, Mr. Henderson, we do have another video because we're talking about the youth who are doing this bullying, okay? And then we also want to talk about the youth who are in need of work. We want to go ahead and incorporate hemp and agriculture into their lessons. So we're wanting your help. We're wanting to help these young adults ages 16 to 24 who don't have anything else to do become employed and work in the agriculture industry, if not food service. So we have a couple of different ones. We were out at UGA on this past Saturday, and they did give us a really good shout out and a stand that we can hire or have them to work for us, not hire, but actually work with us, and get an opportunity to learn and get certified for their own businesses. So if you're interested and you know anyone who's interested, we would love to have your young adults work with us and become certified in any of those aspects. If you go back to that photo, we can tell you all of the jobs that we have available. All right, so we have on-the-job training in food service management, business startup, which we help you get your EIN number, your business bank account. Then we also have retail. So in retail, it's like clothes and things like that. If you want to sell hats, if you want to make t-shirts, we help you and teach you about that. Hospitality, working in restaurants, catering, things like that. Logistics, if you're into truck driving, or even in the warehouses, they need people to be warehouse representatives. Security is a big one because everyone is getting big on security. Everybody needs a security officer or a security guard for their events or however. Then there's finance. Well, Mr. Henderson can give you all of the details on how they can work in finance. Mr. Henderson, go ahead.
Well, in the finance sector, those programs are going to be about accounting based. Some of it will be credit based. what it's like to understand the credit, taxes, just a whole plethora of accounting-related functions that will need to be filled. But the one that I'm most excited about is the entertainment part. The entertainment part, if you're a young person or if you want to learn what it is to run a music production studio, we are more than glad to show you how to mix, master, edit, produce music.
There you go.
We are also getting into television.
That's
and
right.
podcasts.
That's right.
We're just spilling over everywhere with partnerships.
Yes, sir.
Right? So we need interns, those youth that's interested in doing something outside of what you normally been doing. All right? We are soon to be adding automotive, truck driving,
That's right.
CDL preparation, GED preparation. It just go on and on and on.
Yeah. All right. So we also had on the list, which we talked about earlier, was hemp agriculture. All right. So we also were looking for people who are interested in going to those farms, those young adults who are actually getting into trouble. We're trying to keep those bullies and those people who are needing extra things to do readiness for the industry that's about to come up, which is the cannabis industry. They want to understand what they're smoking. They want to understand what they're doing with these CBD oils. So we want to go ahead and start getting them educated, because we do see, as you saw from the previous video, that these are medicines. These are things that kids are taking to help them to calm down, to help them with their seizures. And if that's helping with those items and those disorders, guess what? It'll help to those who are anxious, who can't sit still, who have ADHD, who are having behavior problems at schools. They're helping to calm them and relax them. So we need to make sure that we're evaluating, and I can evaluate. I can go ahead and see those patients, those students as patients, and get those students an evaluation and a medical cannabis card so that they are able to get to the medical cannabis that they need to sustain in life and focus on getting their self a better career opportunity. All right. And we're not talking about getting people high and making them lazy. We're talking about helping them to function, to deal with their day to day, to be able to public speak, to be able to stay on task, and to get along with others. Okay. All right. So, if you all are interested, the number to reach us is 1-888-959-2093. Again, that's 1-888-959-2093. All right. So we have another video to show you real quick on, and if you want to call, if y'all have anything to say about the kids that are going into this thing really bad. Like, there are some kids that we're dealing with at the high school that my sons go to, and they're talking about a shooting for tomorrow. So we're just wanting to address that issue and address the other issues that's going on. They're telling everyone that goes to MLK High School, don't go to MLK on Monday, and they got something for those that jumped them, and since they want to jump or whatever, they got something, and they posted the gun. So this is going around on social media, and we want to just pray for those families that are involved. We want to just pray for that school, because we don't understand what's going on. My son told me that there was some big mass jump, and they had to pepper spray all the students and to get them to break the fight up. And it was really bad. And so a lot of people are taking their kids out of school for tomorrow or for this week, but we don't know what is going on. We don't know why these students are have so much animosity, or what is going on with our youth today. We do know that there's a pipeline program to prison here in the state of Georgia. So we want to make sure that those students and these kids get an understanding that they're ready to ship you to prison when you get out of high school, not college. So if you all can understand the system, get yourself together, find out a trade that you can do to help you, and find a medical doctor. At least they are trying now to get medical cannabis, whereas you was taking it from the streets. It was laced with whatever, And now you're getting the opportunity to be able to, Mr. Henderson over here taking off his belt.
Coming up to that school tomorrow, boy. See,
all right, so.
That's what the kid missing right here.
Right. We got paddled.
You want to talk about them things that make them kids act right.
Mm-hmm. Right. But now you can't do that because they telling the parents they're going to go to jail for child abuse. So
take that chance,
we got to
mama.
get these kids back. They have I got an email from one of the schools today saying that they were going to have the local law enforcement at the school. They might have the squad, Georgia. I mean, they're doing a whole bunch of investigations, but that still don't make it safe. You know, if somebody go to that extent to put something like that on social media, that they're going to shoot the school up or they're going to shoot the guys that jumped them or whatever the situation is, you don't want your child, because bullets don't have no name.
But see, this the thing. Everybody is so concerned with not letting the parents discipline what they need to discipline and do what they need to do until you're actually giving your children to law enforcement. And one thing that law enforcement ain't gonna do is lose control. They will take the control by force. Now, just a minute ago, I held up the great negotiator. Just right here.
The great negotiator. I like that.
That's what these kids be missing. Not only is they missing that, all right, because there's some mamas out there that'll put their smack down. But it ain't nobody gonna put their smack down like daddy gonna put their smack down.
And where are the daddies?
Daddy gonna put their smack down, and you gonna remember that smack down forever. So somebody asked me today, what can a parent do to curtail school violence? Well, parents, I'm gonna tell you like this here. Number one, you gotta stop being a punk ass parent.
Ooh.
Number
Where
two,
my bell at?
Number two,
sound the buzzer.
set the rules.
Yes. There we go.
Number two, set the rules. You set those rules and stay in them rules. Because the one thing about it, I've been in jail before, and I'm sure that plenty of other people watching this that been in jail before. Did you know that when you go to jail, they tell you when to wake up?
Ooh.
They tell you when you're going to come out their cell? They tell you when you're going to go out for PE? They tell you what to do? And guess what? They going to make your grown ass walk in a straight line.
Like you in school.
Just like you in school. Set the rules, parents. Then, too, there has to be some healing and some reconciliation within the parental structure, too.
Right.
Because a lot of the mamas is mad at the daddies, and the daddies is mad at the mamas.
The home life.
When your kids see that kind of dysfunction at the top, they don't respect now one of them. On the cool.
Woo.
Now,
Preach it.
what can be done to fix this situation in the schools? Soon as you get that notification or your kid come home and tell you that there's been a fight at school, show up to them kids' school. Show up to them school board meetings. Get present and be accounted for.
Right.
Everybody talking about, you want to fix what's wrong, go vote, go vote, go vote. Right? That's asking you to be present for something. You want to fix what's going on with the kids' school? Be present.
Yep.
All right? That's for the mamas, the daddies, the uncles, the aunties, because guess what's going to happen? Your kids keep getting rowdy. Guess what's going to happen?
Right.
They're going to soon meet Officer Not So Friendly.
Right.
And when they meet Officer Not So Friendly, who only got one job to do, and that's to get back home to his parents or to his kids safe at night.
Yep.
He ain't gonna care about what's gonna happen to your kids while he's doing his job.
Right. And we know that a lot of the teachers and stuff are getting hurt, so they're quitting.
Teachers is leaving the school
leaving. Like they're asking for us to come and be substitutes. Volunteer substitute
They actually
teachers.
want me to be a substitute. You want to put me in charge of your kid? I don't think you want that. Because I'm going to give them 2 good old chops to the throat. Wow. You know what I'm saying? You get too rowdy. See what I'm saying? You get too rowdy. Now, I seen videos, a couple videos on the social media where people be like, man, that teacher that had no business putting their hand on my kid. But you sure ain't going to say that to the police. Police that have no business putting their hand on my kid like that. Y'all don't say that.
I don't know. I was in the military. I ain't
So why don't you put your hands on...
My kids are very mannerable.
Why don't you put your hands on your kid before the police put their hands on their kid? Now we're talking about the aspect of bullying. Guess what? Bullying ain't tolerated at my house. Bullying ain't tolerated on giving it. My kids ain't gonna be nobody's bully. And my kids, we don't tolerate taking it. Right? Now, people say all the time, man, you shouldn't advocate. Look at this here.
Yeah, we got this video here.
Even Uncle Bernie hit it.
Go on, Bernie. Go on and tell him.
Rest in peace, Uncle B.
You said the kids don't fear. Now this is the key. I'll call this weapon of ass destruction.
Thanks, honey, but you know what? The belt, that's not my thing.
That right there is the snap. It's also called a yellow threat level. That's good for domestic disturbance and washing the dishes, bedtime, and pre-church. Now, if it escalates to the orange threat level, that's when you gotta crack the whip like this, guy. Yeah, now, when they see that, they don't want to see what else gonna happen after that. Now, if you crack that whip like that, only thing, you can't complete a sentence. You gotta do things like, well, I done told you, next time I tell you,
Wow, that's very impressive.
of course, when you do it, you get a little flair. I like to stick my tongue out like MJ.
Well, if that doesn't work, then what's the next threat level?
Oh, the red threat level. You don't want to go there. Because if you do, you'll be on the 5 o'clock news. Now, here you go. And remember,
see, that's what I'm talking about.
Crime is more.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there. We got to get back to them things. One time, I seen somebody get whooped with the end of a telephone receiver. All right. It was so much discipline, right? When me and my siblings would mess up in the house.
Don't even talk about it.
Me, I
my
had
mom,
5 sisters.
I'm still scared.
Right? Check this out. My daddy would line us up against the wall or on the side of the bed, places that was convenient for that red level threat. All right? And daddy would go down the line, one by one by one by one. Now, I told y'all just a minute ago now that I've been to jail before too, but it wasn't for civil disobedience. All right? That ain't what it was for. What I went to jail for was unpaid traffic tickets and the police caught me slipping. Well, hey man, I ain't have no money. You see what I'm saying? I ain't rich. I ride good, and I make ride good look good. I make being broke look good. But guess what? I ain't have no money to take care of this situation. And they caught me with a bub out on my license plate. That's how I went to jail. See what I'm saying? It wasn't never because I didn't do what I was told. See what I'm saying? Now, we might need to go back and revisit some of them old disciplinary actions, because the future is in our hands.
Don't drop the ball.
If we leave the future up to somebody who don't live in your zip code to determine what happened to your kid, trust me, it ain't gonna turn out good for your kid, and it ain't gonna turn out good for you. Y'all know what I'm saying? All right now.
What's that prison? Pipeline of prison.
That is real.
Y'all look
and it's a very real
Google
thing,
it.
particularly in the states where Jim Crow was what there was. All right? To breed cheap labor. All right, they had to. They used to use the prison inmates to do cheap labor.
They still
and
do.
some municipalities, cities, counties still do. Okay, so now you
They
got to
waiting on
use
you.
more than just the Scared Straight programs that you see being in place in the jail. I'm gonna take my kids to the jail and let them talk to some real inmates. Man, you mess around, let your kid talk to me up in that junk. What I'm gonna tell them? So I'm saying, don't come to jail because you ain't gonna like the food. You see what I'm saying? I'm in there for a week and a half. I'm in there for weekend time. What I'm gonna really tell them about prison?
Right.
Right? But what I can do is catch them before they get there while they on their way. Now, if anybody needs some help with that, I will lease this belt for $2 an hour. Lease it. All right? You catch up with me, I'll even give to them for free.
Okay.
You see that face? For free. I make them have nightmares.
Y'all understand that this is not the
Now, I don't advocate violence on children. I don't advocate violence on children.
That's what I was about to say.
So before anybody out there get the itchy fingers and go to calling defects and all that, hey man, some of them folks at defects need this right here too. All right.
No.
Some of them folks that work at defects, they kids need this right here. See what I'm saying? Some of these folks at these big mega churches, the preachers, the deacons, and all that.
Well, they scared because the state done told them what to do with their children.
The Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child.
Okay.
And nowhere should have advocated more for
I got
use of the
spankings
rod
when I was in school.
the church house. That's right. That's right. That's right. I say that. The church house
preacher.
should have been the #1 advocacy for not sparing the rod. But if you go talk to most of the good old sanctified church people, they ain't whooping their kid no more.
Well, the thing is, they say that whoopings was like the slave beatings, but it didn't mind. They didn't.
It worked for the slaves.
It worked for them,
you see
and
how
they
men on them stay? It worked for the slaves. Do you hear me? They stayed even after they was told it. We free. I ain't going nowhere. I might get a whooping.
Please,
they didn't go nowhere.
And some of these still got the same mentality. They ain't going nowhere. They don't want to own no businesses. They don't want to do nothing.
They didn't want to leave the slave master's plantation. You know why? Because a lot of them could not read and could not write.
Education.
They could not count. They were not educated. And they felt, I'm too old to be running from this here. I'm too old to be running at this point.
I want to shout. He's telling the truth.
Saying?
He's telling the truth.
But nonetheless, while they was young bucks, because that's what they was called, bucks. While they was young bucks,
buck and a sister,
they'll tie them up to that tree and get that thing cracking. Y'all ever seen Boondocks? All right then. Riley and that other boy were bad till Granddad came around that corner, wasn't it? I got proof that these whoopers work, man. I got proof. Anybody need proof? Call the show. Anybody need proof? Send me an email. You need to know how to do it.
That's right. Some of these absentee fathers that, you know what I'm saying, that didn't get that, you know what I'm saying, tapping, and their kids got the tapping. They turned out a whole lot better than their kids did. I mean, than their pappies did. And you understand what really transpired and understand that education is very important. And there's a real man is needed in every household. And I'm just saying, everybody
is a part of education. It's part of the education process. You learn what not to do.
What not to do. And when you get wrong, you get treated in that situation. And we done gave them guns and legalized guns. A lot of these students up here at these schools are 18, right? And so they're able to go out now, thank you, Kemp, to purchase guns without having a license, without doing these background, without nothing.
One of these days, I'm gonna tell y'all about the purge law.
Woo!
All right, one of these days, I'm going to tell
Go
y'all
on
about
and tell
the
them. Go on and
purge
tell
law.
them now. Go on and tell them now. They need
Can
to
I
know.
tell them a little
They
bit right
need to
now?
know a little bit, just a little bit. Go on and
The state of Illinois, there are certain counties in the state of Illinois that have instituted and then came out with this law that's on their books that says, you know what I'm saying, during a certain period of time, a person would not be penalized or arrested or detained for certain crimes that get committed. And one of them crimes was aggravated kidnapping. Violence against a peace officer. Theft. See what I'm saying? So if you were on parole or on probation and you didn't check in, the law enforcement could not do anything to trace you or find you for 48 hours after you've been deemed missing by your PO.
wow.
That's the purge law. And if anybody ain't never seen the purge,
The movie, yeah.
go watch the purge. They started out by saying if you have an accident, call us, but we not sending nobody out. That started the purge law.
They ready. It's here.
We're just gonna write you a little
It's here.
citation number and get it to you and send you on your way.
don't
you
mean to
call
scare
your insurance
y'all.
company and let that be that.
We're not trying to scare nobody. We want y'all all to be informed and educated because a lot of us don't read.
And guess what? When them folks said that you could have a pistol
Kemp.
and be 18 with no real ramifications behind it,
What you think
Right.
just happened?
you can carry it unregistered. A shotgun can do just as much damage as that AK strap.
Yeah, when you get 18, you gotta get a big gun, not no pistol. That's crazy.
See what I'm saying?
You got to get a big
We
gun.
want
That's
you to get the
guarantee
big
you
gun.
going to die. Because
Now,
if you get shot by one of them dang gun bullets that I went trained in for the military, you died.
Now check this out.
You losing some things.
if you go look at the incidents of mass shootings that have happened, they have none of them was with a 9mm. None of them was with a 45. None of them was with a 38. They was all with
And they talking-
semi-automatic rifle type weapons.
And they talking
whether
about
it's the AR-15, whether it's the AK-47. You see what I'm saying? Now, everybody end up in arms talking about, oh man, you ain't taking my gun. They don't want your pistols. They want your assault rifles. Because assault rifles can do way more damage.
Right.
You know how to use that thing.
Right.
There's nowhere you can run. All right, there's nowhere you can run. So if you look at the mass shootings that have been taking place, the mass shootings have all been with the AR-15 style joint. I got one. You ain't taking mine. But at the same time, y'all, this right here is way more effective, right? The AR-15, that's for after effect. That's when this don't do no good no more.
Right.
When this don't do no good no more, that will.
Right. Right. And we already know
bad
that
out here, man.
with these young adults, it's like
We let it.
Friday, they used to say, use your hands. You fight to see another day. You know what I'm saying?
Who
Back
wanna
in
get
my
beat up
day.
every day, though?
But we fought.
Who want to get beat
But
up
we
every day?
fought. If it was a problem and you had beef with me, we fought it out. We went on about our way. We didn't talk to each other because we knew who the dang on queen was. You know what I'm saying? We knew who was running it.
Violence.
We don't need to normalize it, but it's some people that need to be put in their place, in their position.
Well,
I understand that as an adult now that there's people who gonna mess with you just until you have to put it down there. You have to let them know.
We have to normalize.
You know?
We have to normalize conflict resolution.
Conflict resolution, that's one.
We have to normalize
Amen.
using
Hey.
your words. Can we get that blast right there?
Yeah. Go on
We
and-
have to
go on and hit the bell.
normalize using your words. Right.
That's right.
Because one thing about it, if you going fist to cuff every day,
Every day, that's tiresome. You ain't
that's
gotta
gonna
do
be
that.
tiresome, man.
No,
not
especially when
even
you're trying to go to
professional
school.
boxers fight every day.
day.
They spar and train every day.
Right.
But they don't fight every day.
Yeah.
I done had to fight all my
My
life.
life.
Bruh, nothing is further from the truth.
No,
Because nobody can stand to fight
Every
all day, every day, Bruh, I know how I am, man. I got too old for to be every day.
Right.
Man, look, bro. Let's just come over here and talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To get this over with. Let's use our words.
But talking about our little Nina, we kind of concerned about the bullies who don't take no for an answer. They don't know how to stop. They don't know how to, leave well-being alone. Okay, I understand you talk too much or you said something that another person don't like, but when do you actually think that it's okay to be the first person to hit or make that move?
Never.
You're never supposed to be the first one to
that.
make the first move. My mom always taught me, if somebody hits you, then you hit them back. But when did it get bold enough for you to be mad enough to hit and make the first move? Because you definitely going to be the first one in trouble. The person that's defending themselves is not going to be the one that's going to get in trouble. It's going to be the person who made the first move.
It's all right to make the first move on certain things in life. It's okay. Make the first move. When you see a girl out there that you like, make the first move.
Yeah.
That's okay. You see a job that you want, make the first move. That's cool. But if it comes to violence, don't be that dumb.
Don't be that dumb. That's dumb.
Don't be that dumb.
That's just dumb.
To be the first move to what? Swing on somebody? What is you going to gain out of that?
What are you doing?
Because guess what? What if that first swing miss? And now that person going to beat you up. You made the first move and got beat up. Bruh. That is not what position you want to be in, all right? Because I didn't even see videos where the bullies get beat down to the ground. Do you hear me? You know what I'm saying? So what did that solve? You got your teeth kicked out of your mouth. You run around here 16, 17 years old with veneers.
Well, we got a quick video. We want to show this real quick before we get out of here. Go ahead after this.
Parent, you know how it is. You do almost anything to help your kid, to take away their pain. But what if the only way to help them is to break the law? Medical marijuana can be used by adults, an accepted treatment that is legal in 36 states. But it's not approved for use in kids, with some doctors saying it's effective, others arguing not enough research has been done. That leaves some parents in a tough spot. NBC's Katie Beck takes that on in our Sunday Spotlight.
21-year-old Kara Zartler's life is on the move.
Go to the kitchen.
She lives with cerebral palsy and severe autism. Her waking hours constantly in motion.
This is a pretty normal snack time.
Eat and walk around.
Despite the obvious challenges, Kara's parents, Mark and Christy Zartler, say their daughter is living her best life.
There's Kara. Hello, girl.
Functioning better and feeling happier than many painful years of her childhood. They say medical marijuana dramatically improved her life and theirs.
She has self-injurious behavior of where she'll punch, her face for extended periods of time.
Before cannabis treatments, the fits, as her parents call them, captured here in the 2020 documentary Weediatrics, happened thousands of times a day. Doctor-prescribed medicines didn't help and added horrible side effects. Desperate for a solution, the Zartlers tried marijuana.
You saw the symptoms stop just like that.
And we still do. There's no medicine in our medicine cabinet that's even close.
Today, Kara's fits are rare, and a cannabis vapor treatment can end an episode in about 15 minutes.
Hey, Kara. Her whole body demeanor was just so relaxed. And she would look me in the eye, and I thought, this is a different person. It was a miracle. Sorry.
Their miracle is also illegal. In Texas, where they live, Kara's effective dosage of marijuana is a felony. And prescriptions in most states can be hard to come by, since the American Academy of Pediatrics hasn't endorsed using marijuana to treat autism.
Why not just give the stamp of approval for parents to try it?
There's really a lack of research on it. What we want to know is it safe and is it effective? We don't really have any data on either of those things.
Pediatrician Dr. Bonnie Goldstein has used cannabis to treat autistic patients in California since 2013.
How much of this is about getting over the societal stigma using marijuana?
I think a lot of it has to do with the brainwashing and all the propaganda that cannabis is bad. Just getting to a neutral place is difficult. But again, I say let the science lead the way.
Adding about 75% of her patients have seen positive life-changing results without side effects. Families facing similar despair often reach out to the Zartlers. The couple shares what's perhaps the best reward of their journey.
When she can look me in the eye and when she can smile, my heart just beats and it feels wonderful.
For Sunday Today, Katie Beck, Dallas, Texas.
Our thanks to Katie Beck for that one.
Wow. See, them same folks used to see us in the hood with them bags and get to talking trash.
Wow. So you see it's happening for the white folks.
You done locked up all them brothers who could have got your kids some treatment. But I just wonder how many of them parents had CPS or defects or child protective services called on them because their kid used to beat themselves up. Boy, you talking about being a bully. Boy, you was a bully to your whole self. I'm sorry. Who beat you up? I did. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's wild. So, hey, man, check this out. Now, y'all gonna have to take that cannabis game a little bit serious. Y'all gonna have to take that medical marijuana game a little bit more serious.
Some of these kids
because for
need
generations, maybe that's part of the reason why some of these kids out here is acting the way that they acting, because you took their dad away over the same thing that you're using to treat your kid.
That was the clue for the sound, you know. There you go. Thank you.
That's a weapon of mass destruction.
That's
right
a weapon of mass destruction.
See what I'm saying? That's a weapon of mass destruction.
Taking away what they needed in the house, plus the medicine that was being used for them, for their kids. You see how she said she wasn't afraid to admit it, and that was where I was born and raised at, in Dallas, Texas. So I'm telling y'all, this is what was needed, and it's still needed now.
It shouldn't have never been illegal, man. So now when you talk about taking back what's yours, right? The political saying is, we got to drain the swamp. We got to drain the swamp. We got to take back what's ours.
Look.
Guess what? It started at your house.
Pipeline to prison. Remember that.
It started at your house. It don't start at the ballot
Free
box.
labor.
It started at your house.
Start at home. All right. So we have.
They can't take all us to jail.
Yes.
They can't take all us to jail.
Go on and tell them your quick credit repair stuff, and we'll get
a real quick credit tip. On your credit report, look at the top and the header. Make sure that your name is really your name. Make sure that it's spelled correctly. Remove all old addresses. Remove all old places of employment. And then file your dispute.
That's right. All right.
Put the cart before
we got
the
a
horse.
video. We got a quick. We got something else to show you. Where's that flyer at? Oh, go ahead and show this real quick.
The battle over medical marijuana is growing this morning across Georgia as more companies push to get licensed. 69 companies originally applied for cannabis growers license in Georgia, but on Wednesday, just 2 licenses were awarded. Georgia legalized medical marijuana 7 years ago, and the CEO of one of those companies which got a license says delays have been unfortunate.
Hey, my name is Brian.
You heard it here. Cannabis is legal in Georgia right now. It has been for the past 7 years. They have 2 licensees who are going to start building these dispensaries. We have places where they're going to be built at, and we'll get on that the next show. But Mr. Henderson want to talk about credit, and he has a flyer. So if you have their flyer available, we can go ahead and get on to those flyers real quick.
Man, I'm going to speed skate through it if you put it on here. So I'm going to just keep it simple like this here so we can roll out of here and be on time. www.nthcredit.net. Make frequent payments to your credit cards that's open on time. Ask for higher credit limits every 6 months. See if they'll give you a higher credit limit. You dispute the errors that's on the credit report. You can become an authorized user. Mama, you got a credit card that you done had for the past 10 years, add me on as an authorized user. Kabam, credit score to the roof. Use a secure credit card. We talked about secure credit cards on the last show that we was on. Using a secure credit card is you taking your own money to the bank. You turn around and telling the bank, hey man, I want to put this $500 on this credit card. Guess what? You're going to get there faster because it's not dependent on the bank. It's your own money. Now, your credit report ain't going to be able to tell no difference between a secure card and a bank issued card. It ain't going to be able to tell no difference. So use a secure card. The only thing you can lose is your own money. All right? Try to get a new house just before Christmas? Holler at your boy, www.nthcredit, 888-959-2093. It's still September. I'm still doing it for $47 flat fee. Hit your boy up. Foreclosures, student loans, late payments, bankruptcies, charge-off, public records, collections, judgments, repossessions, tax liens, inquiries, medical bills, child support. Yeah, child support. Yeah, child support. All right? Evictions. We're knocking all that off. The strain of the week is train wreck, and it look just like it sound. It smoke just like it sound. Train wreck is a mind-bending, potent sativa with effects that hit like a freight train. Mexican and Thai sativas that was bred with the Afghani indica to produce this Northern California staple, passing on a sweet lemon and spicy pine aroma. Train wreck begins its speedy hurdle through the mind with a surge of euphoria, awakening creativity and happiness. Migraines, pain, and arthritis mowed down by train wreck's high THC content. And many patients also use it to relieve anxiety, ADD, ADHD, and PTSD, and BAD. Train wreck flowers tend to finish early when growing outdoors. It's an auto flower. All right, while indoor gardens are ready for harvest just after 8 weeks. 8 weeks, buddy. You got some head banger in 2 months. Do you hear me?
That's it. All right, well, shouts out to all of our sponsors for this week: the Gift of Life Community Home, Joy's Pottery, NTH Credit, the Gift of Life Community Home, Atlanta Academy of Cannabis Science. Also, we want to shout out to Ocean's Best Sea Moss and to our other great sponsors, and we'll hopefully see you next week, same time, same place. Until then.